Wolfpack fans, we are now on part 3 of our resume preparation. So let's look overall at what we are seeking. We are seeking our name at the top. We haven't talked about the header yet. So if you want to put that in 12 to 20 point font or 14 to 20 point font, bold, that will help your name stand out. You can also list your city, state, and your phone number and your email address so it is easy for someone to find you. It is not crucial that you have your actual mailing address because of safety on the internet. Some people are moving away from that. And then we're moving into our education section. So now we're making it very clear what we studied and when we will get our degree. Work experience and campus engagement, two different sections there, starting with the action verbs and keeping the action verbs in their past tense. In this case here, when you're doing it currently, you can use present tense, or you could put that in the past tense as well. When you think about your fonts, we usually want you to stick with the Arial, Calibri, any of the ones that are listed here look great on your resume. And the section headings, you've got lots of examples of section headings that you can use on your resume as well. I want to highlight this campus engagement section here because this section does show some of the things that you've done outside of paid jobs. And they're very important things. We don't want to minimize these. These are what we call the transferable skills. These are things we can take from being in university theater. Well, if we were performed in a theater production, there's so much we can talk about in the job interview about our confidence, about our ability to work under pressure, to take criticism. And in your interview, you can go into detail and explain how that has prepared you for the job. Remember earlier when I said every single thing on your resume should be crafted carefully so that it is tailored to the job. The job description is your rule book. So you'll have a generic resume, you can post that up in ePack, but then you're going to custom tailor your resume for every other position. And what I'm showing you now is a PDF document that can be found on the Career Development Center webpage, and that's where you will be able to see all of these resume examples that we are looking at now. Because if you are a younger student that's graduating later, don't expect your resume to look like a senior, but start your resume off and think, how do I want my resume to look by the time I graduate? And then you can dive into getting involved in high impact programs that will help market you for that particular role. In this section under honors and activities, you'll notice here that this candidate did not put the dates down. They simply listed those. Again, there's no cookie cutter rule. How do you format your resume? That is also up to you. You can find templates on Indeed, all kinds of places, but I would encourage you not to just dump your resume in a template, but to customize it so that it highlights your skills, because you're not just like your neighbor. So their format might not work for yours, but it's great for you to start with some kind of template and then go in and tweak it and make it look very specific. So in this case, we've got the experience with the projects listed at the very bottom, and then the extracurriculars. This is wonderful to show that you have something outside of just school that you did. Interests including guitar, video games. Awesome. That gets a conversation started. On my resume, I listed I was captain of the soccer team, and literally every time I had an interview, someone asked me about it. And honestly, it got me excited. I perked up and I was able to show how that role related to what I wanted to do in this role, because it shows that I can achieve a goal. And even though it's not on a field and it's in an actual office space, it really related. Relevant courses, again, work experience, honors, activities. You can craft your resume to look the way you want it to look. That's why there's no hard and fast template or cookie cutter that you should always stick with. But if you're in a more creative major, you might want to think about putting in some different visuals that would work well. If you're going in a more conservative arena, then you might want to think to yourself, I don't want to make my resume look too flashy. So when you go back to look at your career guide, which you can find on the Career Development Center website, and I'll just show you, this is what it looks like on the link. And when you go to our main page, this is found under Gain Experience, Career Guide, and we've also got the resume samples listed here. So general, academia, any one of these resumes might help you to get a start on your resume, but it's really important to tailor it. I cannot say that enough. You don't want to stick all of your stuff into someone else's resume. Oh, great, it's an outdoor resume, and that's what I want to do, is I want to work outdoors. Yes, I can start looking at this resume, but I'm going to change my resume up. And the biggest thing I see when I critique so many resumes of students is believing in those top 3 things that you want them to remember about you. Hand your resume to someone. Hand it to a roommate, a parent, a mentor, and say to this person, I'm going to give you a time limit of 30 seconds. I want you to look at my resume. This is a very good activity. And I want you to tell me, what are the 3 things you'll remember about me? Now, if they match with what you hope they remember, you're in great shape. If they don't match, then it's time to go back to the drawing board. Thanks for listening.